Today, most businesses or individuals are in a dilemma of whether to build a website or a web app for scaling their digital presence. For you to know, web apps and websites serve different purposes and have their own unique set of functionalities. If you strive to build out any of these products, it is crucial that you understand the differences between a web app and a website. Hello viewers, welcome back to another video of Simpalm. Today we will be doing a detailed comparison between a web app and a website by breaking down their features, use cases, and technical aspects. By the end of this video, you will be able to make an informed decision on what would suit your business the best. Before diving deeper into the comparison factors, let's understand what websites and web applications actually are, how they work, and what primary functions they serve. A web application is basically a software program that runs on dedicated browsers. It comes with extended functionalities and delivers unique experiences for users. Its dynamic nature is what enables users to determine the app's functions through specific inputs. Not just that, but web apps also allow users to manipulate information in real time. Web apps make it easier to execute complex tasks such as software-like operations, managing content, and automating business processes. Now, let's learn about what a website is and the way it functions. In simple words, a website is a cluster of multiple web pages that are all linked through a common domain. As brands, you can use a website to distribute business information, services, or resources on a large scale. You can consider websites to be a form of low interactivity platforms meant to help you boost the brand's online presence. You get to promote the company's services to a larger audience base by posting content and reviews. A website acts as the face of a brand that enables it to communicate with the target audience and share with them the services or products. Now that you know the basics about how web apps and websites function, it's time to address the key differences between them, based on varying aspects. Purpose and functionality. As mentioned earlier in this video, you must know that web apps and websites serve different purposes using their unique functionalities. For a website, the aim is to provide users with information and content, such as resources, company details, blogs, and a list of services. It will allow users to browse, explore content, and fill out contact forms. In simple words, a website is more content-focused, whereas web apps are driven by interactions. Interaction is the key element of any web app that allows users to complete tasks, work with data, check the dashboards, and more. Businesses relying on web apps are often focused on providing users with certain tools to do much more than just explore site content. User engagement and experience. When compared to websites, web apps are amazingly interactive, providing users with a dynamic experience while adhering to their preferences. Users get to set up their own accounts, make tailored profiles, and play around with other functionalities of a web app. This way, users find web apps to be more personalized and engaging. Websites, on the other hand, are mostly about conveying information through text, images, and media content. Users engage with websites mostly for viewing, reading, or exploring through various web pages. The real-time interaction on websites is considerably lower than it is on web apps. Development technologies and complexity. A web app houses several high-end functionalities, which require complex development and a resource-intensive approach. When compared, a website is fairly easy to build with the use of basic tools such as JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. On the contrary, a web application is often built using cutting-edge tools such as React.js, AngularJS, or Vue.js for the front end, and PHP, Ruby on Rails, Django, or Node.js for the back end. Not just that, but web apps also need APIs and database management to interact with users in real time. Developing a web application is often tricky when compared to a website, mostly because of the integration of dynamic features in the former. Integration capabilities with other software. The web apps are built with the purpose of working alongside multiple third-party tools and software. For instance, a web app can be integrated with payment systems, data tracking tools, social media platforms, CRMs, and more. Moreover, web apps also need external databases, APIs, and cloud services for updating data in real time and empowering interactive operations. On the contrary, a website doesn't rely strongly on any of these integrations unless there are complex parts such as content systems or online stores. Websites commonly function with simple add-on integrations, such as videos or contact forms. Authentication and security. Websites are often built and deployed with an open access nature. Generally, most websites do not require user logins or registrations for visitors to explore them. Even then, websites still require common security features such as a firewall or SSL certificate to ensure trust and security. Web apps, on the other hand, are commonly integrated with a strong user authentication system. Users must register themselves on web apps and obtain their credentials to access the customized content. Security is paramount for web apps because they process personal and financial information of users. Functionalities like role-based access control, multi-factor authentication, and data encryption are commonly integrated into web applications. Now that you know how a web app differs from a website, it is time you decide on what's ideal for you and in what circumstances. When to choose a web app? A web application will make sense for your business if you need high user interaction of users on it, followed by advanced functionalities and continuous updates. If you seek user authentication, personalized dashboard, online forms, third-party integrations, and other such features on your brand platform, having a web app would be preferable over a website. Not just that, but web apps are also perfect if you want your users to freely engage with your brand platform and perform multiple intuitive operations. When to choose a website? A website seems ideal when your goal is to build an online presence for your brand or provide users with informational content. If you are seeking initial brand awareness and promotion of your company's services, websites can be a cost-effective option over web apps. You will get to create multiple marketing-based web pages and publish SEO-driven articles on a website, without worrying about real-time updates, complex user engagement, or user authentication. Before ending the video, let's discuss the average cost and time it takes to build a web app or a website. Cost of building a web app versus a website. It is evidently clear that developing a web app is expensive than building a website. And that's mostly because of the interactive features and complexities of web apps. Websites are mostly built with static pages that require very few technical resources. On the contrary, web app development requires complex coding, a custom backend, and interactive features. Thus, the development cost significantly increases. Building a website might cost you somewhere in the range of $1,000 to $50,000, depending on various factors such as website type, size, design preferences, and other such factors. On the other hand, the cost of developing a web app will range from $20,000 to $200,000, depending on the level of complexity you seek. Time and resources required for building a web app versus a website. Web apps are more complex and need interactive features, robust backend infrastructure, and interface deployments, which demand extensive resources and more development time. It takes several months to create a high-performance web app, depending on the complexity of the requirements. Websites, on the other hand, will only need fewer resources as they can be simply built with standard templates and CMS platforms. Building a simple website with no customization efforts will only require a few weeks. We hope this detailed video has helped you understand the potential differences between a web app and a website. Now, you will possibly be able to end the confusion and decide on what suits your business needs the best. If you want to learn more about web app and website development or have your project ready to be assigned to a team of developers, feel free to reach out to our consultants at Simpalm. The contact information is mentioned in the description below. If this video seemed valuable to you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching.